If you were to ask me at any point between the ages of 12 and 26 what I think hell feels like, I probably would have told you it's cold, like winter in Pennsylvania. That bitter, abrasive cold that scratches your throat and lungs on the inhale. I don't believe in hell, but for a long time I did consider winter to be a personal hell of sorts. I truly loathed the entire season. I hated the cold. I hated the sight of bare trees and dead grass. I even hated the snow when it stuck around long enough. Mostly I hated feeling depressed. In recent years, I hated the frustration of slowing down. Despite telling myself all I wanted was to slow down, I couldn't manage to give myself permission to. I was just starting to live my life, and I was so afraid of giving myself some slack because what if I regressed? I couldn't risk losing momentum, and yet when winter came around, I couldn't seem to keep the same pace, which left me no choice but to slow down, but certainly not without resistance. Perhaps more than anything, though, I hated the strain of trying to hang on to the happiness I felt in the warmer months, and the stomach-turning disappointment of feeling it slip through my fingers as the dark, cold days dragged on. Something different happened this year, though. This year, when the cold came around, I felt the undeniable call to turn inward, rest in the quiet and stillness the season was beckoning me to, and spend more time alone in introspection. The call was a gentle invitation. There was no pressure to perform, no end goal, no requirement to make measurable progress of any sort. When I say it was undeniable, I don't mean it was demanding my attention. What I really mean is everything in me wanted to answer. So I did, without resistance. And the ease that followed was nothing short of blissful. This act of going inward is not new to me. As a self-proclaimed hermit, I already spend a lot of time alone and a lot of time reflecting. What is new about this particular hermit phase is that I'm not putting any limits on my alone time. I'm allowing myself to say no to plans when I'd rather be alone. I'm not forcing myself to speak when I'd rather be silent. And I'm giving myself full permission to listen to my body when it says it wants to slow down and when it wants to rest. And when I think about it, winter is the one season that has consistently asked this of me. The one season that every year reaches out its hand and quietly invites me into the stillness. How can I not appreciate it for that? For giving me the space, the permission to journey into my inner world without concern for what more important things I should be doing instead. For saying, there's no need to be hurtling full force toward your goals right now. Have a seat, get comfortable, and listen. There is nothing more important right now than this. It turns out, Winter and I are actually quite compatible. Winter is a good listener, and a very capable container for the deep introspection and answer-seeking that makes this human life so worth living for a hermit like me. I can't even bring myself to hate winter for its gloom and dreariness anymore. I've come to embrace the melancholy air of the season, and rather than cling to the happiness of the warmer months, I've learned that there's a different kind of happiness to be found in the bleak underworld of winter, if you know where to look. A bit of sweetness in the bitter of the cold. I like to live as if I'm in a romance with life. And I'm tired of maintaining the belief that I can't do that for an entire season each year. So, from this point forward, I vow to find beauty in the clouds of my breath in the cold. To sigh fondly at the sheets of ice I have to scrape from my windshield before I drive home from work. And when the cold is hard to love, remember that it's this very cold that's encouraging me to meet my deepest and truest self in the warmth of my inner world, where I found solace time and time again. maybe I could learn to love winter. Maybe I already do.